Eastern Europe is bracing for millions of additional Ukrainian refugees as Russia's invasion intensifies.
The United Nations says more than 2.3 million people have fled Ukraine since the attack began on February the 24th. The Ukrainian government hoped to evacuate civilians through humanitarian corridors, but says Moscow is refusing to guarantee access. Meanwhile, authorities across Europe are scrambling to provide aid to the hundreds of thousands of refugees crossing their borders. Polish authorities alone say at least 1.43 million people have crossed into their border.
And one of those refugees joins us now. Thaisa Semenova is a journalist who fled Krakow, Poland. Thaisa, welcome. We are glad you are someplace safe now and hope at least you are experiencing some relief, if possible. How long did you stay in Ukraine before you decided it was time to leave? What was the deciding factor for you? And were you forced to leave any family behind?
Hi, I left Ukraine. I decided that I would leave on the first day of war, actually, because I woke up in the central part of Kiev from the sound of a siren going off. And then I thought I was gonna have some more time to figure out whether I should leave. But eventually, in just like some couple of hours, I've heard at least 5 missiles, I don't know exactly what it was, but firing near me. So I realized that for my safety, I need to leave now. I had to leave my family behind. My stepdad, he joined the Territorial Defense Forces, and my mom, of course, she didn't want to leave him alone. So I had to leave on my own. Of course, it was impossible to get any tickets, to the west of Ukraine or to Poland. So I kind of just went to the railway station and just hoped for the announcement to be. And then at night, I heard that some additional wagons were added to the train to Lviv. And then I just went there and I had to stand in the train for, I don't know, at least 15 hours. And when I finally got to Lviv, I heard another air raid and I had to go to the shelter to hide. And then I bought some bus tickets for Poland because a man in the crowd realized that he couldn't leave the country because of the mobilization law, so he just offered me his ticket. And then I spent 2 days trying to cross the border. Not gonna lie, the road was pretty exhausting. It was freezing. And I have to say that it was easier for me that for some other refugees because I didn't have, kids with me and I was just on my own. On the Polish side of the border, there are many volunteers who meet Ukrainians with water, food, warm clothes, so they help a lot. But until you get there, you kind of on your own and you have to, accept reality for what it is.
We're watching video roll as you're speaking of people trying to leave. You're in a pretty unique situation being a journalist as well. I know a lot of us have bags packed, ready to go. This is a much different situation, obviously, than having to cover a situation like this, now having to leave your home. Can you tell people how you're doing, what it's like for you, what it's been like talking to the other people who had to flee, and now being on the opposite side of this story?
Of course, covering something that affects you personally is really different situation from what you usually do as a journalist. Because, I realize that many foreign journalists who are now in Ukraine, they're doing a great job. But it doesn't affect them personally because, Ukrainian journalists will have to live with the consequences of Russia's invasion long after the war ends. And also, I have to feel the real fear for my family, for my own fate, and still work on this, on covering the story. But I think the personal stake doesn't mean that the reporter suffers, because in this situation, we don't have to be really, we already know the side of this. We already know that Russia is aggressor, and we just simply call the things by their proper names.
Well, we're glad you're safe now, and we hope you stay that way. Thaisa Semenova, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.